what we're going to talk about today is why childhood role models matter and finding out who you're supposed to be in life, your best self in life. Childhood role models are clues to who you are meant to be in your life. We're not all meant to just admire and be the kind of people that we're told we need to be.
Right. Tell us about this story where you were a kid and you had to write a paper.
So it's like in fourth grade, I think it was, and the teacher's like, okay, you're going to write a paper on somebody that you admire and want to be more like, your role model.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly who I'm going to pick. Catwoman. She is so cool. She can do all this badass stuff. I want to be more like her when I grow up. And then when the teacher called on us one at a time to ask us who we picked, one boy said Batman. And I got excited because I was like, see each other, right? Aww. And she's like, okay, well, we all know that Batman's not real. So you have to pick someone who's real. Next. And I remember just being like, oh, so it's not actually about what I'm actually inspired by. I have to pick somebody like Eleanor Roosevelt, Mother Teresa, or somebody who is, logically inspiring, but it didn't really light me up. I didn't relate to them. I understand where the teacher's coming from because she's thinking that I'm saying that I want to grow up and don a cat suit and go cat burglarize people's buildings while swinging from a freaking thing. And that's the thing is we often think of our childhood role models in a literal sense. Or we're like, oh, if I like Superman, it's because I want to wear a cape and fly and be a superhero and be buff. But when you and I were talking a few days back and I talked about Catwoman, we instantly lit up.
Yes.
And we're talking about all these different qualities that had nothing to do with superpowers.
Right.
Nothing to do with going out there and actually doing anything that's shown in Marvel movies. Why did you like your role models? And how did they factor into who you are now?
I'm love curious. That. Not all of them are cartoons. So you had She-Ra, who, like, for my Gen Xers out there, right? She had two personas. Like, she was Adora, like the princess. Her twin brother was He-Man or Adam. And even though it was like a little like weird conflict of interest because I did have a crush on her brother, I still thought like, wow, that's so cool. I always wanted siblings and I grew up an only child. Anything really that related to sisterhood or like siblings, I was really excited about that. And that she had this very like soft feminine side to her that was, I'm a princess and people love me, like I have a big heart. But then she was just like, oh my God, raise her sword. And she's the thing would like wrap around. Just like, I am She-Ra. But what they were doing, they were having fun. They were having fun and they were doing something that they were passionate about. And what are we taught as we get older? Like, find something that you're good at and monetize it because that's what you're going to be when you grow up. Just because I can have like a natural gift for something doesn't necessarily mean that I enjoy it.
Right.
Because I've known people who became nurses because they were good at science, but they didn't want to be a nurse. They didn't want to take care of people. They were just like, they were very interested in science. And so
it was like this passion, right? It was like something that comes out. So would you say like that was what transformed them into He-Man and She-Ra? Is like this
their passion for life, their passion for what they did. And they did it all the time. And it was fun and it was freeing. And it was like this experience for them. They gave themselves permission to show up differently in different situations. All of it was authentic because it was still part of who they were.
Right. Yeah. And can we talk about these like alter egos? Ooh. Because as a millennial, I do remember She-Ra. But I also grew up with Sailor Moon. And remember Gem and the Holograms?
Yes, I had a gem doll.
Oh. And then I swear this is why I have colorful hair now. It's because like, right, she started off blonde and then she turns into Jerrica and all of a sudden her hair is pink and beautiful. Same with an anime and like Sailor Moon. It's like they have all these different hair colors. And there was something about going from your basic self and then being able to pull out and transform into like this alter ego. They're kind of turning into their higher selves when the situation called for it.
Right.
And what if we could metaphorically unlock this She-Ra or Sailor Moon or Gem and the Holograms sort of oomph within us and turn into very effective and real versions of ourselves that can go out and then fight against the evil in our lives or kick ass or achieve things. And you and I were talking about how we're both just naturally drawn to the strong women. Like you mentioned, Angelina Jolie. I've always loved her. Tomb Raider. I was just so into that because she was just like so capable.
Right.
Something about being able to go through life and being able to kind of be flexible yet strong and maneuver through life in like a badass way. Right. I feel like we're both attracted to, which manifests in who we are as adults.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, another show that I like, and this is like after like I was in like adulthood, was Charmed, the original Charmed, like Alyssa Milano and Shannon Doherty and Anna Marie Combs. They have like all of these superpowers, and I love that superpower thing. But again, what I loved about it was that they were a family. It was like a sense of community and belonging. And they all they were all very strong in their own right, but they also had that support system with each other. A lot of people are like, oh, you like them because they're witches. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, that part's cool and that's badass. Like, they protect innocent people from harm and they come and they try and save them. But the other part of it was that I always wanted to be a big sister, which is so important to me. I see like how much fun and how much sense of community that people have, like, when they do have that support system. So I'm like, yeah, Charmed all the way.
The sisterhood thing totally makes sense when I think about how you conduct yourself in your life and your business, because you're all about like friendships and the collaborations, having this business family more so than like what I have done. But because I did grow up in a family that was protective, overly so, when I saw these strong women, it was always about the ones who were going off on their own and like doing their own things on their own, because that's what I needed in my own life.
Right.
Versus like what you needed in your own life was that community and that family that you never had. We're drawn to these different aspects. They're like clues. They're telling you, I want that. I want to be able to go off on my own adventure, break free and prove myself. And that's what I had to do. And I've come so far just pursuing that.
Oh, Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2 as Sarah Connor. And what's interesting is that she had more confidence in the sequel, even though, you know, the first part of the movie, she was surrounded by people who did not believe her. But she was so confident and she was so sure and she knew. And that drove her when she's in like the psych ward or whatever and she's doing like the pull-ups. Like, wow. That's the other word that I'm going to go for, transformation. Yes. Transformation.
Yes, that's, because it kind of gives us an idea of like, ooh, I could kind of transform too. Like, what if I could transform myself?
Yes.
Do you remember the Magic School Bus books?
You're on the Magic School Bus.
Yeah. Miss Frizzle has always been one of my role models, because now that I am in a position where I'm teaching people and like coaching, I realize like, yeah, I'm not going to, I'm not going to adhere to just some proper teacher like role. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to be expressive. Miss Frizzle, she just represented like this freedom of like, you can be a teacher and you can teach people and help people and still have fun and still be kind of kooky and express yourself. If you feel like your life is not aligned the way that you want it to be, or you're kind of lacking direction or feeling like there's something lacking in your life, if you look back at the things that you really enjoyed and admired as a kid, look to see if you are allowing those aspects into your life now. And if not, how can you go more in that direction? Like, did you admire people who could be soft and nourishing, or did you like someone who could go out and kick ass? It's, you know, look at these as clues as to what you need to do more of as an adult. Because when we're kids, we're drawn to things because of our own souls. We're not being told, hey, you should like He-Man. We like it because something in our soul is like, oh, yes, that is like the purest form of who you really want to be and who you really are inside, that you need to bring forth into your life.
It's fun to transform. It's fun to evolve. It's fun to change. If you want to know what you truly wanted to do, look back to like the little you and go like, what was it we wanted? Like, what was that, you know?
Yeah.